Well, it's pretty safe to say that when Shane Davis left Loyola as the men's coach, the two-time defending men's coach, champion men's coach, and went to Northwestern to coach the women, he got the attention of the volleyball world. And now I've got your attention. Shane's in Chicago, and he's the Northwestern coach at his office at Northwestern. And wow, the last couple of weeks must have been a whirlwind for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was something that happened so fast as well. And wasn't an event that I actually planned on, but it was something that Jim Phillips, the athletic director for Northwestern, he reached out to my athletic director at Loyola, just permission to talk. And it was mid-December when that happened. And then once that point occurred, it was a fast track and working over the holidays on a family vacation as well. So it moved quick.
I don't want to dwell on Loyola, but I got to ask you, first of all, it had to be kind of weird spending all that time preparing for the start of the season. Of course, you were the two-time defending champion. You get so close to your team, your guys, all your coaches, and then all of a sudden you're gone. That had to be so strange for you, so close to the start of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, I don't think, ever a good time to leave a program. And it was the hardest decision of my life. And, going through the fall and all the individual work and the team practices, went through finals, and then I had my nice little time away. And then, like I said before, that's when the phone call happened. Process moved so fast that I was trying to keep my assistants, Mark Halls and Chris Berzins, up to date throughout the process. But we came back, and the first practice was the morning of the 28th. And that was the first time that I had an opportunity to sit in front of my team and tell them what was going on. And I was very excited about the fact that Loyola gave me the opportunity to go out the way I wanted to. But I was able to sit in front of the team and tell them my story and my reasoning and the history and leaving the program. So yeah, they took it well, I guess, as best as what they could. They wished me best of luck. And I think it shows a lot about the character of them and the program that is at Loyola as well in terms of how they handle the situation.
Well, the program you inherited at Northwestern, of course, there's so many things to consider. It's in the Big Ten, so there's a lot of ground to make up. The cupboard's not completely bare. It's a great university, and you didn't have to move very far. Where do you live in Chicago?
I actually live on the south side in Palos Heights, and my wife's family is down there, and so the support down there was very important. My commute is a little bit longer up to Northwestern, probably about 15 minutes longer, but it might be just long enough. So we might be looking to move up into the Northwestern community in the Evanston area. But we're going to see how the spring goes and the commute and make the decision after spring.
Well, let's talk about what you inherited and what your team's like and what you expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I've inherited a great program. It's a big academic institution. I feel like it's the Ivy League of the Midwest, world-class city, and the Big Ten volleyball, like what we've talked about. And the mission is to create a world-class experience for the student athletes here at Northwestern. I returned a lot of players from last year's squad. I've had an opportunity to meet with the team. It was a short meeting, and I've had individual meetings as well to start the season. So I've got to learn a lot about the players that we do have and on a personal level as well. So we start our first practice tomorrow. So I'm excited to actually get in the gym and see what we have in terms of an evaluation standpoint.
Well, they're probably excited to get with you. So I know the answers to this question because I know of your ties through club and other things, but people would be going, what's he know about the women's game? Has he ever coached women? Does he know what he's getting into? So I'll let you address those things.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I've coached women, young women, but at the high school camp level as well, like what you had mentioned with club. I've not coached college women. So that's uncharted territory. I feel like it's going to be a fun transition for me. And one of the big pieces is the Big Ten volleyball. And so in terms of the athleticism of the athlete that we'll have here, I think there's a lot of similarities between the men's game and women's game. It's also important for me to hire a great staff along with that to help me with the transition. And I've done that, and I'm excited about who I have on staff to go along with that.
Who have you hired?
Today was official, the first day of Aaron Virtue out of Michigan. So she will be my recruiting coordinator for the program. She's done an outstanding job at Michigan and at Cincinnati before that. And then the other assistant is Kevin Moore. He's been on the men's game for a while. Started there, he was a head coach and assistant coach. He made that transition to the women's game a year and a half ago. He was the associate coach at Loyola. But both coaches have been involved with USA Volleyball for a long time. And so I thought it was important to get a coach like Kevin Moore, who's been on the men's game, had to make that transition to the women's game as well. But also the USA Volleyball through that pipeline was important for both coaches to have for me on staff.
One question about the Big Ten. You can look at it and go, my gosh, it's so tough. I mean, it's so good. There's so many good teams in there, so many great coaches. So I could say, like, somebody had to say, are you out of your mind going into the Big Ten with a team that's not in the upper echelon? I mean, that's a huge challenge you're undertaking, and you know that, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't be more excited about the challenge. And, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, a sarcastic good luck, you know, through text messages or through phone calls. And but I'm excited about the challenge and the opportunity and where we are. And it's the highest level, and that's where I want to be at. And so I'm welcoming the challenge with open arms.
All right, I'll get you out of here on this. I mean, there is a huge difference between coaching the men and coaching the women, and the women's game is different. You know, in so many ways, it's almost a different sport because of the size and speed and the power. On the other hand, it's a fantastic sport, much more popular. I don't know this, but I would assume you made more money making the jump. The interest in women's college volleyball, especially in the Big Ten, is fantastic. All those things, I assume, were things that you considered, and if you'd take a crack at that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just I knew down the road I would make the move from men's to women's, and I didn't know when that timing would be. And it was just one of these situations where the stars aligned. And you know, you mentioned the money part, but I just want you to know I'm not chasing the paycheck either. You know, it's an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. And between this leadership of Morty Shapiro, the president, and Jim Phillips, the athletic director, Northwestern's going in the right direction, and I wanted to be a part of that. And that was the big piece for me, and I was able to do it a little bit earlier than what anticipated.
Well, it was super fun getting to know you when you coached Loyola, and it was fantastic the last couple of seasons. Your last victory there, the championship matches, I've told people, and I've said on some of these video chats, is one of the best sporting events I've ever been fortunate enough to be a part of by sitting there and watching. It's still mind-blowing. And I'm real excited for you and for your family and for the opportunities there. And it'd be really fun, I think, for everyone if Northwestern got good.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the plan. So.
All right. You take care, and thanks so much for spending the time.
Yep. Thanks, Lee.